Thank you, Lifeline, for this opportunity. By the way, my name is Ahmed Tijani Austine. I hail from Kogi State, and this is my wife beside me. Her name is Charity Tijani. So we are here because of what befell our son, and we are grateful that Lifeline is here to listen to us and what we have to say. We went through a lot because of my son who was sick. My wife will explain more to us because she was deeply involved in the thing. She will really tell us how it all went down before I will say some few things.
My name's Charity Tijani. I hail from Edo State. By the grace of God, I have 4 kids. It all started when I gave birth to my second boy, Asa. After the delivery in the hospital, I started discovering that he was running temperature, of which I called the attention of the nurses to check the baby. But they told me the baby was fine, that I should just relax. So as a mother, I have the experience, at least I'm a mother of one then. So this one is my second child. So I know when the temperature is normal and when the temperature is not normal. So with the temperature, cyst persists, and I call them for, this is what is going on with my baby. After 3 days, when I give birth, so the temperature didn't come down. My own take was the nurses would have called the doctor to check on the baby. But all I could hear then I was in the hospital was that the baby is fine. You know, it was CS. We stayed in the hospital for 5 days to 6 days before we were discharged. So we came back home, and after the 8 days naming, the 9 days, the temperature became severe, of which I now rushed back to the hospital. And that very day, that fateful day was on Friday. I went to Children's World and I met a doctor there, a pediatrician. I make my complaint. They now told me then in that hospital that that day was not for children's day. That I should come back on Monday. Not even minding to check the boy. Maybe the boy can sustain till that Monday. I was confused. I don't know what to do. So I have a doctor's number. I make a call and told the doctor, I'm here in the hospital. This is my problem. So he now said I should hold on. I was waiting. So I could not get any, I didn't see his call forthcoming. I tried the number again. It wasn't going through. So I was confused and the baby was really, really crying and screaming. So I just decided to go home. I was just at the hospital gate when the call come in and told me where I that am I still in the hospital? I now said yes. That I should rush back. I said okay. I came to meet with the doctor. But that doctor was a gynecologist, he was not a pediatrician. So he now rushed back to the children ward. And I explained to him that on my way going, I told him I was at the children ward. They said today is not for, it's not children's day in the hospital. That I should come by. I said, don't they know, they didn't check the baby. I said, they didn't bother to check the baby. So he just collected the baby from me and was rushing in. Told them, you didn't bother to check this baby and to even know the level and the complaint the mother is giving. They were now saying, chief, they just collected the baby and they checked. The temperature was something else. So That is how they say they will place us on admission. We will be at the hospital. To cut the long story short, we were there in the hospital for a month and 2 weeks just because of what went wrong with the baby. We were there in the hospital looking upon God. The situation became worse. The baby was just there, stiff. So my own there in the hospital, I believe the doctor are there in the hospital to save life, not just be there, because they should feel your pain also. But no, that very day I was there in the hospital, I did not see any doctor that would come to attend to my baby. I believe even though we don't have people in high places, they should all treat everybody with equal love. But that day I didn't see any love from them. That is how we were there in the hospital with, I keep on persisting, come and check my baby, come and check my baby. And they later came and checked the baby and told me they will run some tests for the baby, of which the test was carried out. They run the test and the test came out and they asked me, where did I, at first they asked me, where did I give birth? I told them, it's the same hospital I give birth. Because they know why they were asking. So they were talking to themselves. I was just confused. They refused to tell me what was the problem. So they started treatment. I believe the treatment they started was an antibiotics. So they started the treatment on the boy. 2 days after, there was no improvement. The temperature was just exactly how it was. There was no improvement on this baby. I will keep on praying, believing God. And we really went through a lot, because at that hospital there, you have to fight and beg for doctor to attend to you. That is how I keep on fighting, begging. When it is time for drugs, if you are not careful, they will administer another baby's drugs to your baby. So I was up and doing, anytime it's drugs time for the baby, I will come out and make sure I am there to check. So as God may have it, we were just there at the hospital. Then is it 5 days? It was 5 days exactly. They were not attending to my baby again. So I called the nurses around. I now called the nurses to ask. They said the baby's temperature is not coming down. It seems they were making arrangements for maybe the drugs to use. I said, is it how they will just leave the baby like this? They now told me no. I keep on calling on the doctor I knew around. They said I should just relax. Not knowing, unknown to me that they were fed up about the baby because of the condition. They were all fed up. Even the way they treat the baby, they were all fed up. You can see it written on their faces that it's like they are tired. So I called my pastor. So my pastor called my husband to ask the situation on ground. And my pastor now called the doctor there in the hospital. That is when they now started treatment on this boy, this very boy. They started treatment. That is when they went. And then I had one lady doctor there in the hospital. She now came around and now saw me. Are you here? I said, yes, I'm here. I made my complaint to her. I said, oh, are you the Tijani? We had a meeting today. They mentioned your case. I said, and I told the woman, is that why they start treatment on my boy? He said, yes, so that is how they started the treatment. They now find out that after 3 days, the situation was not even making a change. The boy was still very, very much in pain. So they now called me and wrote a drugs, because they normally run shift. So it was in the evening of that day, the doctor came in and wrote the drugs out for me to go and buy. I took it to the pharmacy at the hospital. They say they don't have, so I decided to run back to the outside the hospital to get the drugs. On reaching there, I gave them the prescription. They told me how old was the baby. I told them the baby was just 2 weeks. They shouted and said, this drugs is not for that age. Why would they write these drugs? If they must sell the drugs, I should collect doctor's approval. I now said, okay, I rushed back to the hospital to collect doctor's approval for the drugs. They all say they won't sign. I was so angry. Why won't you sign the drugs you asked me to buy for my baby? It was so devastated. So I don't know what to do. I burst into cry. I was crying because seeing my boy in that court, it's not like helping matters at all. The situation is getting worse, and all they could tell me is that they will not sign the prescription for me to get help for my boy. I was crying before one nurse walked up to me and told me, "Madam, don't cry again." Morning time, at the morning time the next day, they will do rounds. The doctor will come in and know what to do. And that time, this boy, they were going around to give drugs for all the baby. This boy was not taking his own. He was just there. He's not eating. He's not taking anything. He was just there going through pain. Then I now discover, what I discovered again was that very day I gave birth at the hospital. That was 2018. The same parents that came that day that they gave birth, the mothers that were there, I saw them again around. Then I started asking them, are you here also? They now told me yes, they were here. All that children that were infected with that same disease.
About how many?
They were 5.
So what happened to these children?
They all died. They all died. And this, when each day, it's not, they didn't die just one day. Each day that passes by, they are going. They keep on going. And that this creates fear in me that this boy is not responding to treatment. What will be my fate? I keep on praying. So the next day, the doctor came for rounds. I quickly rushed to the doctor. I complained to them. They now told me, yes, these drugs, they've been using the drugs they should use for the baby. But he's not responding to the drugs. That is why they want to know, they want to use these other drugs. But they, as a doctor, they know the gauge, the measurement they will use for him. That should not worry. And now said, okay, they now sign on the drugs. I went to get the drugs. I get the drugs for them to administer. The drugs was just there. So that is how other nurses were coming, other doctor. They would just come in and be telling me, who is Tijani here? I will come out. Where are you? What are you doing? As in, they start asking me my occupation. I was so shocked. Why were you asking my occupation? Not knowing that they've been deliberating on my issue, my son's issue. That is why it's like they are now in charge. They want to really help. Because all that we were there in the hospital, they were feeling reluctant. So that is how they were asking about the baby, how it happened, and everything. What I now discovered that anytime the doctor wants to ask a question, he will first of all ask me, where did I give birth? Because I believe the infection that infected this boy is through blood transfusion. Yes, it's only when you give birth, I believe that is when the infection affected the boy. That is why they were asking, where did you give birth? That is the first question they will ask me. And when I say, is that hospital, they will keep calm.
Okay, madam, I don't want to go the reasons being that, and would you tell me that, would you say those that have 5 children, the same thing happened? Because you cannot really now tell that it could be blood, that blood, diffusion?
Blood transfusion.
Transfusion, sorry,
Yes.
that blood transfusion could be the cause.
No, it's not blood transfusion. As in, that disease can be transferred with blood.
Okay.
Do you understand? Through blood.
Okay.
You can contact that disease through blood.
What is this disease?
It's a meningitis.
Meningitis?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is why the doctor keep on asking, where do you give birth?
Okay.
You understand? So I told them they will just keep calm. They will not see anything. They will say, with God helping us, let's continue the treatment. That is how we were there, taking treatments, drugs. And it's not that we have much. But before you know, with the little we have, I'm a businesswoman. Before, with my husband, Before you know it, we spent not less than 600,000 there in the hospital. Before we were discharged from that hospital, we spent 600,000.
Okay, madam, let's talk about. So finally, they administered that drugs on your baby,
Yes,
and your baby was okay.
yes. The temperature was coming down gradually.
So that drug solved that problem.
I believe so, that it solved the problem.
Okay. Alright. So now, what I want to know from you, madam, is you said it happened in 2018.
18, where I gave birth to the
So
boy.
what happened afterwards? Now
After,
you left hospital then.
yes,
So
we were
afterwards,
now discharged because the temperature
yes.
now
The
came down.
problem was the temperature. Now the
Yes,
temperature had gone down.
the problem was the temperature and the disease.
Did they tell you that disease that time?
As in, when I gave birth.
No, when this issue came up, did they come out to tell you this is what is wrong with your child?
Yes.
Okay.
A test was run on him.
Okay.
And when the test came out, that is why first they were not asking, where did you give birth?
Okay.
Because they know this is where the infection.
Okay.
So after the infection, they started treating.
So, madam, do you mean if the doctor had, you have told me that the first time that you complained that the boy was running temperature.
Yes.
So, are you inferring that if they had come up, maybe test the boy, the solution would have been taken care of? I mean, they would have found solution at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
Because in normal ideal situation, when a woman gives birth, there should be a pediatrician standing by to check everything about the baby. If the baby is okay, all right. And after that day, the following day, they should go around and also check. Maybe through giving birth that time, what is wrong with the baby will not surface immediately. Maybe later. That is why a pediatrician should be there. And had they been when I was making this complaint that the boy was running temperature after the delivery, they attended to me or they call a pediatrician doctor, I believe this would not have lingered to this.
Okay. So now you left hospital then?
Yes.
You came back home?
Yes.
So what happened after that afterwards? When did you notice that the problem was persisting at that point?
Okay. Okay. When we came back from the hospital, normally, as a baby, when you drop something or anything fell from your hand, as a baby that is sleeping will start to.
Okay.
You understand? Or a TV set is very loud, the baby will start to. So I started noticing that the baby doesn't respond to noise and sounds. But I keep calm. I was watching the baby closely. Until after 5 days after we were discharged from the hospital, the baby was lying down. I took my phone. I put it on music. I put it close to the baby's ear. In normal ideal situation, the baby would have started to, even though it not wake up,
Please
react to the sound, but nothing like that. I was scared. I called the attention of my husband to come. My husband said, are you sure? Maybe the boy is sleeping deep. So I had a pediatrician friend, so I called her immediately. I make my complaint to her. She told me, do you know what that boy went through in the hospital? She believed the boy is sleeping deep to regain all what he went through. That is really sleeping deep. I should just allow him. So I was relaxed. After 2 months, I became nervous because a normal child, you call the boy, you make the boy return, but he was not. My husband now said we will take the boy to the hospital back so that they will make a proper check on him. So we actually took the boy to the hospital, back to the hospital where we took the treatment. So I took the boy there. It get to my turn. I went in. They now asked me what happened. I make my complaint. They now took a key from the table and shake the key. The boy just turned. I believe the boy just turned at its own will. Just the same time he shook that key. They now told me, he's hearing now. Why are you complaining? Why are you now complaining? This boy is hearing. Carry your baby and go. And I said, okay. I took the baby. That if I have any complaint in one, when the boy is 1, I should come back. That is when they will really know if he's not hearing or not. I took the baby back home. Then when he was 1, I took him back to that place. They now refer us back to hearing center at that same hospital. So we went to the hearing ward. The man now did some test on him and now said no, that they don't have the machine to really ascertain the level of damage and to know if he's really not hearing. That he cannot just tell me now that he's not hearing. That where they have the center, they don't have here in Uyo. That when they have the center is in Lagos and in Jos.
Okay. Tell me about the Lagos experience.
When we went to Lagos, I took the boy to Lagos at the center. So I took him and I thought it was just a simple test that I would just do and come back the same day. But taking him there, the doctor now started explaining that they have to knock him out to get that test done. And I said, okay. So that very day we went, it was that very day I got to Lagos. I just went straight to the hospital. The doctor now told me the test will not be done now. That this boy the boy looked tired, that they can't do the test. That the test will be run on an empty tummy. And I said, okay. So the next day, first thing in the morning, I should come. So I went there around 7 a.m. I took the boy there. So they now gave him something to drink that he will sleep off. This boy is a very strong boy. This boy did not sleep. I met other children there. Immediately they would just fell asleep. But this boy fight me, tear my clothes, was fighting that drugs. We don't want to sleep and all that. More than 30 minutes. At the end of the day, he now fell asleep. They took the boy to the place to run the test. They fixed the things on him, the machine on him to run the tests. I was there praying to God that the test should come out successfully. So when the test now came out, the doctor called us in to tell us the news. First of all, he now asked me, Madam, what are you doing? And I told him I was a businesswoman and then my husband too. He now said, okay, because the test that he just run now, the boy 2 ears has been damaged. That the only solution for this boy is to get a cochlear implant on him. That will make him to hear again. And I should know that a child that could not hear cannot speak. That after the test, after the operation, they will now bring a therapist that will now be teaching the child how to talk and how to join words together. I was heartbroken. Where will I see? Then the man now told, and I asked the man, how much is this money? As at that 2021, he told me for 1 ear is 6 million. The 2 ear is 12 million. I was like, where will I see this money from? I was broken. Even the day I was supposed to come back home, I didn't come. I have to stay back so I can get myself first before I will now digest what I've just heard. So, with all said and done, I came back home. I break the news to my husband. If this help did not come, I will be heartbroken. And for this boy, I believe I will be seen as maybe in my own way, maybe as a bad mother, not to even make an effort to see if I could raise the money for him. It can even cause me sickness because seeing his age mates, talking, interacting, there's sometimes that he has to tell me something, he could not express himself. He would just burst into cry. it used to break me down when this happened. And I will cry and say, I wish I could get help. Several times, me seeing this boy like that, and this boy is a very smart boy. Despite he's not hearing, he's not talking, he's very intelligent. He cannot see you in a condition where you needed help that he will not come through. For example, we have been at home as a family. I was eating, I forgot to take water. Then I now choked with the food I was eating. Do you know that all of that, the brothers, they were all sitting down here. He was the one that stood up, run to the kitchen to get me water. I was heartbroken. He's a nice boy that you can, if you are around this boy, you will just be amazed. You'll be happy.
Then we pray and we hope. See, in this world, we know that as human we cannot help everyone.
Yes.
But I know everybody can help someone.
Yes.
And that's why we are here.
Yes.
Believing that people that will hear this from wherever, God will touch their minds and their hearts, and they will come out to help. But I want to say, if at the end of the day the help comes, how do you feel? What sort of joy you have with your boy? If your boy will speak again
and call me mom.
Call you mom.
And call me mom. I will be the happiest woman on earth. I will be the happiest woman on earth. Because growing up and getting married, I've never ever think or imagine that I will give birth. Then the boy will have complication. I cannot even talk or hear. If this help can come true for me, I will be the happiest woman on earth. And I will be very, very, very grateful. I will be very, very grateful. I also need the help. I know out there that there is someone who this boy situation has touched, and you are ready to help. You are welcome. NGO out there, institution, friend, loved one, anywhere you are, and you are ready to hear, and you are ready to make this boy to come alive again, to talk, to hear, I'll be very grateful. If it's about the money, that maybe there is somebody out there, maybe you don't want to send the money to me, but you have the hospital, you know a hospital you can take the boy to get the treatment, to get the operation done, I will be very happy to bring the boy so that the operation can be run. I will be very, very happy. I'm pleading that you should come to my aid, to hear, to make the boy hear and talk. Please, please, I'm begging. Please, help this family. I will be grateful. I will be the happiest woman on earth if this is done. As at 2021, I went there. They said for 1 year was 6 million. That is for the two was 12 million. But as this 2023, we called the doctor. The doctor was shocked. He thought we have flew the boy to outside country to get the operation done. He said even the price has even increased. That 1 year now is 8 million. And the two is 16 million. And after that, after the operation, there will be a therapist. Calculate both the therapist and the surgery money. We are looking for 20 million for the boy. Please, I'm begging. NGO, any organization, anywhere at all, if you are out there, you really want to help this boy to hear again, I'm begging, I'm pleading, come and help us. We really need your help financially for this boy. We can't even afford the money. Please, out there, even you are outside country hearing me now, please, if there's any way you can help, this boy to hear again. NGO, you can connect anywhere, you can connect us to. My number will be there for you to see. You can call, and any support you have, the account number will be there for you to support us. We really need your help to get this done. They even put an age bracket there for the boy if he did not get this operation done at that age. That's at that 2021 we went there. They told us we should make sure, as at that 1 year he was, that we should make sure we should do this operation before 3 years. And now this boy is 5 years. 5 years. They say because that age is very important for the boy to come up with the therapist to know how to talk. You know, as a child, from 1 you start calling father, but it will be very hard when you are above that age to start responding, and it will cost more money, because you will not, if it is for 6 months for the therapist and the money that you paid for the therapist has expired and the boy is not even picking up, you will start all over again for the boy to pick up. Please, as this boy is 5 now, please, I'm begging you out there, you are there, you can help us. We really need your help. Help us.